In the city that never truly slept, where neon lights painted the night in electric blues and reds, Arvind lived in a modest apartment on the 17th floor. From his window, he could see the constant motion of humanity, people hurrying along sidewalks, cars honking, street vendors calling out their wares, a river of lives flowing relentlessly. And yet, despite the motion around him, Arvind felt frozen, trapped inside the same cycle he had been living for years. His mornings began the same way. The alarm clock buzzed at 6:30, pulling him from restless sleep. He would lie there for a moment, staring at the ceiling, noticing the cracks he had ignored, imagining the dust settling like tiny reminders of the life slipping by. Finally, he would swing his legs out of bed, pull on the tie that felt like a noose, and step into a world that demanded more of him than he could give. The commute was a daily exercise in endurance. Packed into a metro car, pressed against strangers whose faces reflected the same exhaustion, Arvind would stare at his phone, scrolling mindlessly through news, social media, and emails that piled up like weight on his shoulders. Time, he realized, had become an invisible currency he was spending without noticing. Hours slipped through his fingers like water, and yet the ledger of his life showed no real wealth, no memories, no accomplishments, no stories worth telling. At the office, Arvind's cubicle was a fortress of papers and screens, each blinking, each demanding attention. He answered emails with mechanical precision, attended meetings that could have been emails themselves, and nodded politely while ideas he secretly believed in were dismissed. The promotions, the bonuses, the praises, they all felt hollow. Every smile he forced, every laugh in the break room felt like a transaction. Time for approval, energy for recognition. He was trading his life hour by hour for a promise that never truly delivered. One evening, after a particularly long day, Arvind found himself walking past a small, dimly lit bookstore he had ignored for years. On impulse, he stepped inside. The scent of old paper and ink filled the air, and for the first time in years, he felt something stir inside him, a memory of dreams he had abandoned. He wandered through the aisles until a book fell off the shelf in front of him, as if calling his attention. Its pages were filled with stories of people who had risked everything for their purpose. He flipped through them, reading lines that made his chest ache, made him realize the depth of his own emptiness. That night, Arvind couldn't sleep. The city hummed outside, but inside his mind raced. He dreamt of a strange marketplace, endless and surreal. Vendors weren't selling fruits or trinkets, they were selling hours. People handed over slips of paper marked time and walked away with cars, vacations, gadgets, experiences they barely enjoyed. Arvind's hands trembled as he saw the hours he had spent, handed over without question, slipping away into invisible pockets. He tried to grasp them, but they vanished like smoke. He woke drenched in sweat, heart pounding, and whispered, "How many of my hours have I sold to strangers?" The next morning, he met his old friend Raghav for coffee. Raghav's life had taken a different path. He had left the corporate world to start a design studio. Arvind watched him sip his coffee slowly, unconcerned with the clock, his eyes bright with energy. "Aren't you scared?" Arvind asked, voice trembling. Walking away from a secure salary, from stability, Raghav smiled, the kind that comes from living in alignment with oneself. "I was terrified. Every day for the first year, I questioned myself. But then I realized money can be earned again. Hours, time, life, those are gone forever. You can always make more money. You can't make more life." Those words haunted Arvind. Every email, every meeting, every idle hour suddenly took on a new weight. He began to see his life as a ledger of time spent, not wealth gained. 8 hours at the office, 2 hours commuting, 3 hours lost scrolling through feeds, 6 hours sleeping. He calculated it hour by hour, day by day, and the realization hit him like a thunderclap. Most of his life had been traded for things that didn't matter, for approval he didn't need, for comfort that had no soul. From that day on, he began to reclaim his hours. He woke early, not to check emails, but to write. Words flowed from him like a river that had been dammed for years. He attended online classes, learned skills, reached out to mentors, started side projects. Every small victory felt monumental because for the first time, he was working not for a boss, not for a paycheck, but for himself. It wasn't easy. Months passed when money was tight. Days when exhaustion threatened to pull him back into the old rhythm. Friends laughed when he said no to overtime. Colleagues mocked his late-night writing. Family worried he was wasting his life. But Arvind persisted. He learned to say no to meaningless demands and yes to meaningful experiences. He started to notice the subtle joys he had ignored, sunlight spilling through the window, the laughter of children playing outside, the smell of coffee brewing in the morning. Years rolled on, and Arvind's life transformed in ways he had only dared to imagine. His small writing project became a book. His side ventures turned into a thriving studio. He built relationships not out of convenience, but with intention and presence. And the city, once a blur of neon lights and hurried strangers, became a canvas for his own life's masterpiece. One evening, standing on his balcony, looking out at the same skyline he had once felt trapped by, Arvind whispered to himself, "Time is the currency that matters. Every hour spent is a brick in the life we build. Spend them wisely, or you spend your life on the wrong things." And for the first time, he felt free, truly free.